everybody. Let's go ahead and get started here. Everybody get enough of that dead fish? Not yet? There's plenty more left over there. They just brought a fresh batch out there. So by all means, feel free to help yourself. It's not going to jump up and bite you, so it's good stuff. So appreciate we have the organization within the organization called the Hall of Fame folks, and Bill Roberts heads that organization up, and him and his crew did a great job. So let's give them folks a hand for that good fish. All right, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start our program, and be thinking now. We got Coach Shinnick from UWF, University of West Florida Argonauts, and they had a very successful year. This program's been around, what, Coach, 2014? Your program came live in 2014?
First season was 2016.
2016, okay, so they made the decision to do it, and it took a little while to happen, but first season 2016. And, but I'm telling you, it's pretty amazing to have a program that started 2016 and be recognized not just this year as the regional coach of the year, but the national coach of the year. So that's pretty impressive. So we appreciate Coach being here, and we've enjoyed it, and it's good to see you guys grow and have a good time with that program. So be thinking of some questions you're going to ask him. We'll have a little Q&A after he finishes speaking, and we'll go from there. With that being said, right now I'm going to, from the Ticket radio station, I'm sure you all have heard of that here in town. They do a great job talking about sports-related subjects and all. And so with that being said, we had a lead man himself here, so I'm going to introduce to you and present to others Mr. Scott Moore. Come on up, Scott.
Hey, it's always a great opportunity and pleasure to come visit and talk about sports. And, you know, one thing about sports, look around. It's a great equalizer. Doesn't matter about race, doesn't matter about creed, affiliation, anything like that. It brings everybody together. That's what athletics does. And a lot of the guys that are going to be speaking tonight, well, most all of them, have made it their life's work to be involved in sports because it matters to so many people. And the greatest thing you can do in your life is make an impact on somebody else. It's the best thing you can ever do. So you young people that are out there, parents, whatever your aspirations are in this world, is be different. You know? Be different. But make a significant difference in everything that you do every single day. You know, Jim Valvano said one time, he said, my life's motto is this. Every single day I want to make somebody think. Every single day I want to make somebody laugh. Every single day I want to bring somebody to tears. Man, if you do that, that's a full day. Think about that. Think, to laugh, and to make somebody come to tears. You can make somebody come to tears a lot of ways. You can do it through laughter. You can make them do it by thinking. But that's a full day. And if you'll go through your day every day with that aim in life to make a difference in somebody else's life, and start now. It's never too late to start doing the right thing. But the main thing is tonight, we're here because of competition, athleticism, and sportsmanship. And that is the greatest equalizer that we have going in America today. So with that being said, there's going to be a lot of great people come up here and receive some awards tonight. So the main thing is we're going to laugh, we're going to think, maybe be brought to tears tonight, and that'll be a full night for y'all. So looking forward to meeting all the award winners and recognizing a lot of great people that are here. And I want to say thank you again to the All Sports Association for allowing us to be here, be a small part of this great event. I have the opportunity to go all over America and speak at some incredible events. I was at the Nagurski Award dinner recently, which is one of the great awards the top college defensive player in the country. And I'll tell you, the banquet we'll go to tomorrow night is as good as I've ever seen. And I'm talking about we have something to be really, really proud of down here and be involved with down here. So I want to thank all sports people and the board and everybody that's involved with this great organization down here for allowing me to be a small part of it. So thank you guys very much. You know, when I got started in sports, and a lot of you listen to our radio program, and We have an opportunity to talk about collegiate sports. I love collegiate sports. That's what I try to focus on. And when I was a kid in Birmingham, Alabama, growing up, and met Coach Bryant the first time and met Shug Jordan the first time and all those guys, they made quite an impact in my life. So I knew I wanted to do one or two things. I wanted to either be a coach or I wanted to talk about sports. So I decided to get into broadcasting about 30 years ago, and it's led me into an incredible path to do some of the things I talked about earlier. And during the course of that time, I've been able to meet some rather crazy personalities that coaches the game of college football. So when I was growing up, Keith Jackson was my idol. He passed away recently, and you've heard him call many, many Rose Bowls. And when he came to Birmingham, it was a special time. So what I'm going to do is let Keith Jackson come up here right quick, and then we're going to go around and visit with some of the great characters and legends of college football. Get this thing started off right. So please welcome the voice of college football, Mr. Keith Jackson. This is Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. It is a place of history, legend, and myth in college football. Today, the 74th game in the Alabama-Auburn series, and you can't know how much fun it is for me to come back here for one more of these. This has been a series of legendary people and moments. If you want to be a legend in sports, and all you got to do is win the big games every once in a while and leave a lot of quotes. Quotes like these from General Robert Naylor, who said, "Touchdowns follows blocking just like night follows day." Wallace Wade of Alabama, "Nobody ever wins a football game, somebody loses it." Or Paul W. Bryant, every Thursday night before the annual battle with the Auburn Tigers, he simply said to his warriors, "Be brave." Frank Broyles has joined us in this good old backyard country SEC grudge match. Frank, your thoughts? Well, Keith, I want to tell you that the Alabama-Auburn rivalry is special. So is Florida and Florida State. It's mother against daughter. It's father against son. Keith, it's not a matter of life and death. It's more important than that. Well, they say analyzing is paralyzing. Well, let's play this blame thing. Let's go down to the bayou and meet the head coach of the LSU Tigers, Ed Orgeron.
Well, first of all, I want to say that I'm very, very excited. I had a chance to meet with Rob Brown earlier tonight, and Rob, very, very good to see you. And may very well need to talk to you about coming to coaching offensive front and line and everything. And it's about one team and one heartbeat at LSU. It's certainly not about my coaching, certainly not about my recruiting. And the decisions that we make every day, we're going to have to live with them, like Joe Lever hired me as to be the head coach at LSU. How many LSU Tigers fans we had tonight, yeah? Yeah, that's about normal. I know y'all excited about my career at LSU and all the things that we're trying to do. I wanted to say that the catfish and the fish and the seafood tonight was outstanding. That's what we serve at the training table in Baton Rouge. Hopefully it'll get us through the schedule of Florida and these other people. But it's one team, one heartbeat. Go Tigers! Rob, good to see you. I want to talk to you about a job on my staff because we desperately going to need it in 2018. Go Tigers. Appreciate it.
To Auburn, Alabama, and head coach Gus Malzahn. I tell our kids every day, it's about one thing. It's about just getting butter. That's what it's got to be about. I say, hey, kids, today is a Land O'Lakes day. Butter. B-U-T-T-E-R. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get butter in everything that we do. Season didn't end well, but I got a great contract of $49 million for losing the last 2 ball games. I want to say, War Eagle, thank you for that very much. I'll be your football coach indefinitely. So get used to that, War Eagle, and let's get butter. Okay, y'all have a good day. War Eagle, thank you. To the Ozarks of Arkansas and a former great member of the Arkansas fraternity, President Bill Clinton.
First of all, I want to say it's absolutely wonderful being able to be here tonight and taste all that catfish. And I just want to say, boy, the beautiful ladies we have in Okaloosa County, I just want to tell you, you guys have done a good job. I just wanted to say Hillary did not make the trip. And I'm staying over at the Pelican Beach at room 248. Yeah, certainly love for anybody to come by and visit with us if you'd like to. Hey, go Hogs, way to go. It's a great thing. And I enjoyed being your president. I'm sure y'all did too. Have you a good night. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
To Tallahassee, Florida, one of the winningest coaches in the history of college football, please welcome Bobby Bowden. You know, first of all, good to see you. Hope everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? Well, that's really good. Good to see you. I want to talk real quickly. Just snuck a word in there. I said quickly. Quickly is what we call a Y word because it ends in Y. Quickly. Some of y'all hadn't figured that out yet because you're not very quickly. But I've said many times before, people also used to ask me all the time, hey, Coach, how long you gonna stay in it, you know? I said, hey, as long as I'm alive, probably, be coaching. But people ask me, hey, Coach, how did you maintain the longevity and the commitment to winning year in and year out? You know, we went 15 consecutive years finishing in the top 2 in the country. You know how difficult that is to do? It's very, very difficult to do. And the way to do it is through the Y words, words like audacity and athletically. You know, you got to have your quarterback who's athletically, first of all. An athletically quarterback will win you a lot of football games. Somebody who's got some dependability. Somebody who's got some agility as well. But you young people that are here tonight, if you got no eligibility, you ain't got none of those. So keep that in mind. Always remember that and be committed to doing the things that are going to take you. Be able to do a little extra each and every time you step out there, and you will be successful in life. So scalp them, Seminoles. Good to talk to you. Just turned 92 years old, ready to coach another 30 years. Have a great life. Have a great night tonight. And listen, I'll tell you, don't listen to that Orgeron guy. Don't think he's going to be along very long for us here. Take care. Steve Spurrier, South Carolina. I didn't think so. Maybe good night. Go Gators, Scalping Seminoles, all that stuff we all want to say too. Maybe you to say that, but it's true. Good to see you. Appreciate that. Final voice of the night. One of the great comedians in coaching. Staying in South Carolina, please welcome Lou Holtz. I'm going to tell you this. It's about simply doing the things that you've been called to do, being the best you can positively be. And I'm going to tell you what, if you don't want to be on the team, we'll find somebody to replace you. It's about being a champion. How do you do that? Well, first of all, you got to believe in something, got to have a commitment to do it, and you got to love it. If you don't have those three things, chances are you're not going to be very successful. And believe me, that's what you're going to have to do if you're going to get there. Now, every time my wife would always talk about baseball and diamonds and all that kind of stuff, and I'd say, I know what you're talking about, but I'll try to make some kind of parallel, make it, work into the talk tonight that we're doing. Now, people say, hey, Coach, how come you're no longer at the University of Notre Dame, much less University of South Carolina? I've said many times before, if Noah's Ark came along, we wouldn't be on there because we ain't got to and nothing. I just want to say it's a great opportunity being here with you guys tonight. I hope y'all have a wonderful time. To finish with tremendous. This is a great organization. It's about being the best we positively, but got to be able to affect people, bring people out there. It's a great thing. People have got to be able to understand what you're saying too. That's vitally important in a successful organization. Anyway, y'all have you a good night, getting a little behind on the time and all that. So good to see you. Go Notre Dame. Wake up the echoes. And y'all have you a very, very good night. Thank you so much. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Always takes a little out of me when we bring about 10 personalities up, but let's get to the reason why we're here tonight, guys. I want to welcome and recognize Brian Humphrey, who's the AD at Okaloosa County. Hey, Brian, if you'd stand up. Brian's right there. Good to see him this evening. First of all, I'd like to get everybody from Choctaw that's here tonight and have you guys stand up so I can recognize all of you. So if you're from Choctaw High School, should be 11 of us here tonight. Would you guys please stand? We got Brady Uten is there, Scholastic nominee, Malia Lindner, Lindsay Legg, Jason Godfrey, Jimmy Grace, Xavier Fuller, Zalis Alexander, and Tion Duncan. These are all representatives of Choctaw, and also the AD, Greg Thomas, is here as well. Appreciate you guys coming out. Congratulations on being recognized tonight. Choctaw High School. From Crestview High School tonight, Rod Bouchard, Grace Gills. If you guys would stand up, certainly like to have you guys. Rod's a Crestview High School male ASA nominee tonight, and Gracie is the Crestview High School nominee. Thank y'all for coming from Crestview High School. Also, Keon Vasson is here tonight as well. Keon, are you here? Okay. He's a 2017 Defensive Player of the Year in the big school category. All right, Fort Walton Beach High School. Everybody that's here from Fort Walton Beach, would you guys please stand? We got Nico Bryant, Carl Thorne, Hudson Robinson, Kenyon Redmond, Brendan Carter, Connor Cleveland, Waylon Steele, Kayla Butworth, Renisha Payton. And also, we have one of our great awards tonight. The female all-sports scholastic winner is Lucy Rudman. Lucy, please stand. Congratulations to Lucy. Congratulations to all of the Fort Walton Beach High School representatives. I think we had some other ones as well. I want to recognize Chase, Hurt, Cameron Page, Domini Dixon, Jeremiah Tyler are also in attendance tonight. Thank y'all for coming. And if I mispronounced your name there, forgive me. Niceville High School tonight. Also, the AD Phil Dorn was with Fort Walton Beach as well. The 2018 Male Scholastic Award winner is Lauren Miller. And Lauren, would you please stand? Congratulations to you. I'd also like, Lauren, for you to come forward. You want to do it later? Tell you what, he wants to do it later, Lauren, so you hang tight. We'll recognize you here in a second. But Lauren, just so you know, she's going to get this award in a few minutes, but she became the first 4-year winner in the history of the All Sports Association. And we'll kind of go back into what she does and what she's been able to accomplish in her career in a couple of minutes. But she's the first ever 4-year winner of any award with this organization. That's pretty spectacular. So congratulations, Lauren. Also with Niceville, we have Kiara Koger, the ASA Female Scholastic Award. Kiara, if you'd stand up. Lillian Holtree and Eli West. Congratulations to you guys tonight for coming out. Thank you for making your way over here. Rocky Bayou Christian School, Jack Wolgast, Elysia Sue, and Kaylee Orr. If you guys are here, would you please stand up? Thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate all y'all. Thank you. South Walton High School tonight is represented with Bradley Robinson, Tanner Katowski, Matty Ears, Hayden Stroop, Elisa Selvey, and Daniel Louise. All right, Taylor is also, Matty Ayers is the Taylor Hugan Award winner as well, which is a very, very special award. Congratulations to you on that. And we'll have some more recognition about that as well. So everybody from South Walton, thank you for coming out tonight. Walton High School has got Elizabeth Johnson and some family members. Well, Elizabeth, please stand. Thank you for coming. She's also the Taylor Hoggan nominee, and she's from volleyball and tennis. So appreciate you coming and being with us this evening. Also, our Special Olympian, Austin Scott, is here. Austin. Hey, thank you, Austin. Appreciate you coming out here as well. Special Olympian. So again, if you just got your name announced, I'd like for all y'all to stand again and give all of you guys a round of applause. So if I mention your name or your school, please stand up one more time and let us have a chance to recognize you. And now we got our special presentation for Lauren Miller.
Getting quite a creation up here, don't you? Okay. All righty. This is a pretty special award I do want to give. This young lady, she was actually my point guard probably about 10 years ago when I coached basketball at Rocky Bayou Christian School. Miss Julie, Mr. Mike. But as best I can tell, and I talked with Seth and some other folks, editors, all at the Northwest Florida Daily News, this is the first athlete that has been Player of the Year 4 years in a row. 4 years in a row of any sport. And, it's quite an honor to do that, to be that consistent. So that means that even as a freshman, she was on top of her game. As a sophomore, on top of her game. A junior in her senior year. So fortunately we have her here tonight with us. She has great folks, Mike and Colleen Miller. You guys done a great job raising Miss Lauren. But she's looking to go and play her collegiate golf career at Mississippi, right? Mississippi State. And so she's going to go over there and do some big things and represent Niceville well. So Lauren, why don't you come up here and grab this award from you? So the 2017-18 Female Golfer of the Year, Miss Lauren Miller. Congratulations to you again, Lauren. Great job. All right, so, okay, so we're going to turn this back over to Scott, introduce Coach, and we'll be off to the race. Come on, Scott.
Coach Pete Shinnick has done some incredible things while he's been at UWF. To have as you know, to start a season and start a football program from scratch, really, it's a tremendous challenge for one thing to be able to do that. And compete at a high level. Everybody wants to compete, and you want to win. You certainly want to be able to go out and represent well and give kids an opportunity to play and create excellence in your program. But to go play for a national championship in your second year, that's kind of unheard of, really. And everybody knows first of all, how difficult it is to win. Everybody in here has competed at a very high level. I don't care where and what level you're competing at, it's a high level. And everybody in here knows that's involved in athletics how difficult it is to win. It's hard to win, man. It's not easy. There's nothing easy about winning. Nothing. But that's what everybody strives for. Everybody also talks about winning championships, and they talk about what it's going to take to get there, but very few people are willing to do what it takes to not only play for a title, but to win one. But to be able to accomplish what this gentleman's done in 2 years is absolutely phenomenal. There's a lot more that went into it than just this season. But I want to welcome Coach Pete Shinnick up, and we're going to talk about it because I got a lot of questions for him. I'm sure you do as well. So please welcome Pete Shinnick. And Coach, we got an award for you. We want to recognize you. This is an awesome award, 2017 Division II Regional Coach of the Year, 2018 AFCA Division II National Coach of the Year, Coach Pete Shinnick. So
Thank you. No,
that's for you.
thank you very much.
I'm going to let you say if you want, and you and I'll talk.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you, All Sports Association. Opportunity to come talk to you. And really, anytime I get an award, I obviously had a tremendous amount of help. I've got 114 guys on our roster, got a coaching staff of 14 men who just do a fantastic job. All those guys really bought into the vision that we were trying to create. And when we started 4 years ago, didn't have anything, didn't have an office, had a desk and a phone, didn't have a helmet, didn't have a football, didn't really have anything to start with, but we had a great university. If you don't know much about the University of West Florida, fantastic university. And then we love, we love the city of Pensacola, and we love the Panhandle. And so 4 years ago, created that, started that. And to get to where we are took a lot of hard work by a lot of different people. Wanted to give you a little bit of my background. I grew up around football. My dad played 13 years in the NFL, and then he coached for 16 years. So I got an opportunity to be on sidelines, be in meeting rooms at a young age, and just thoroughly enjoyed it. I remember, people used to ask, what's it like, to grow up like that? And the story that I typically tell was when my dad was coaching the Oakland Raiders. He was the defensive coordinator for the Raiders, their first Super Bowl victory against the Minnesota Vikings. He was the defensive coordinator for them, and so got an opportunity really at a young age to see what that looked like. And people say, well, what, growing up and experiencing that, you got any stories? And really the one story that sticks out to me is I remember sitting in school, I think it was the 6th grade, and this one kid next to me was so excited because he went to an Oakland Raider event and he got Ken Stabler's autograph. And he's showing it to me. And I'm like, yeah, I was playing catch with him on Saturday, So, I didn't mean to rain on the guy's parade, but it was like, so I didn't really get why the guy was excited about that till I went home, and then my dad said, son, you gotta be a little more gracious in how you handle things. Not everybody gets to come to practice on Saturday. My dad, I learned a lot from my dad. I learned a lot in coaching from my dad. My dad passed away about 13 years ago, but I have had the privilege and honor of really running into a lot of his former players. And, everything that they say about him, that's really what I want to embody as a coach. And they've just had nothing but great things to say about his approach, how he handled them, how he coached them, his knowledge of the game. To give you a little bit of information about my dad, as I mentioned, played 13 years. He actually holds the NFL record for most interceptions by a linebacker, 37. Ray Lewis retired a few years back. My brothers and I were very excited about that because Ray was at 31. And so we were trying to figure out, could Ray retire before he gets the record? We wanted him to get close selfishly, so then they would actually mention that my dad was the leader, give my dad a little pub time. But Ray kind of settled, I think, somewhere around 31, 32. But when we get together with former players that my dad played with or people that he coached, we're always asking for, can you give us a story? Can you tell us something that unique stood out about my dad? And the one story that we've heard a lot, and the one story that I love telling, and if you've heard me speak before, you've heard me tell this story, but my dad is credited with tackling Gale Sayers in the open field. All right, so for the young people, if you don't know who Gale Sayers is, Google him. He was dynamic. Gale Sayers once made the quote, give me 18 inches of daylight, that's all I need. And he was a running back, so he needed about that much space, and Gale was gonna get it done. Well, my dad, not necessarily as athletic as Gale, I can tell you that. My dad's about 6 foot, 230 pounds, played outside linebacker. My dad actually played defensive right outside linebacker, so on this particular play, it's 4th and 5, the Bears are driving, and they run a swing pass to Gale Sayers. My dad's playing right out there, right outside linebacker, and he tackles Gale Sayers for a 1-yard gain. And after the game, the reporters come up and, they're asking the obvious question, Don Shinnick, how did you tackle Gale Sayers in the open field? And from the answer, you'll learn a couple of things about my dad. Number one, he's pretty honest, and then number two, he does have a pretty good sense of humor. And his answer was, well, when Gale made his first move, I reacted. Because we all know that Gale's electric and dynamic. When Gale made his second move, I was still reacting to his first. And when Gale made his third move, he ran right into me. And that's how I tackled Gale Sayers. So I grew up in that type of home. I grew up wanting to know about coaching, wanting to learn, wanting to be involved with it, and then really, very fortunate to have been coached by a lot of really good guys in college. I was a little disappointed Les Miles didn't show up tonight, but you got the hat to do it. Les was my offensive line coach. Jerry DiNardo, who was the previous LSU coach before that. Jerry was our tight end coach at the University of Colorado. So I got an opportunity to witness a lot of guys, played under Bill McCartney at my 4 years at the University of Colorado, and really just an opportunity to grow and learn. I've got 4 brothers. 3 of my brothers went on and played Division I football like I did. I had a brother go to UCLA. In his 4 years at UCLA, he won 3 Rose Bowls and a Fiesta Bowl. I had a brother go to Penn State. My brother Adam, who went to Penn State, one of the most highly recruited young men of that time. And then my brother Chris, who's my youngest brother. And Chris actually just started a church in Niceville High School, Manna Church. But Chris was really the smartest of all of us. I went to Colorado. Josh went to UCLA. Adam went to Penn State. Chris, smartest of us all, he went to the University of Hawaii. Okay? Now, we won way more games than Chris. But Chris lived in Hawaii. And so we always say, look, you're the smartest of all of us. And then he actually got it documented because Chris actually was a GTE academic All-American, which kind of proved to all of us what we'd already known. You are smart and you're warm and you've got a good tan because you're in Hawaii. We're in cold weather places, except Josh was at UCLA. But fun experience for me to grow up in that environment. I watched the SEC story of the Manning family, and I can relate to that because we used to beat the living daylights out of each other, okay? We played knee football when it was snowing outside or raining outside in the living room, broke lamps, broke tables, did whatever we could, played Nerf football in the backyard. Anytime that we could get an opportunity to play football, we were playing it, and anytime we got an opportunity to compete. And that's really what led to me getting the opportunity to coach. Played at the University of Colorado, and then my first coaching job was at the University of Richmond. I was there for 9 months and our head coach retired. And then I got an opportunity to go out to the University of Arkansas and coach with Ken Hatfield. Ken Hatfield then left and went to Clemson. I tell Coach Hatfield, probably the worst career decision he ever made was leave Arkansas, go to Clemson. He got fired after 4 years, but best decision that he ever made for me, because he took me along as a graduate assistant and I met my wife. So very fortunate for that to happen. And when I met my wife, I told her, I said, look, coaching is an interesting profession. I had already been, this is my third school in 3 years. I said, you can go anywhere at any time. My wife grew up in Anderson, South Carolina. She really had never traveled very far, okay? To her, a long trip would be going to Myrtle Beach, all right? About 3 hours down the road. So when we got married, we were married 9 months. I got my first job at Oregon State University in Corvallis, Oregon. It's about as far away as you can take someone from their family instantly. And then I was there for 2 years and then had an opportunity to go to Northern Michigan University. If you don't know where Northern Michigan University is, it's in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It's basically Canada, okay? Separated by a lake. And I was really worried. I was really worried going to Marquette, Michigan, because my wife, born and raised in the South, it gets cold in Michigan, all right? And so I'm talking to the guy and I said, hey buddy, look, I gotta know, you gotta tell me, how cold does it get in Marquette, Michigan? And the guy goes, oh, coach, it's not that bad. Really, it's not bad up here. I'm like, well, what's not bad? Because I got to go tell my wife, and I got to sell this to her that this is where we're moving. He's like, coach, really, it's not bad. It'll be in the 30s. You'll be okay. And I'm like, okay. I was in Corvallis at the time. It was 75, trying to figure that out. All right. So we go, and we live in Marquette for 9 months. And the guy was right. It really wasn't that cold, okay? But I learned a lot about how to ask questions, okay? Because the question I should have asked was, how much does it snow in Marquette, Michigan? Oh, it's unbelievable. There's this thing called lake effect snow, which I'd never lived on a lake, much less lived on a cold lake, much less lived on Lake Superior, okay? And what happens is the moisture accumulates, goes out over the lake, gathers more, comes back and snows. It snowed 268 inches in the 9 months we were there. For 5 months straight, we shoveled our driveway. Unbelievable. My head coach ends up getting fired, which then I end up getting fired, and I became one of those coaches. They say there's two types of coaches, okay? Those that have been fired and those that are going to be fired, okay? Well, I was the going to be, and then when my head coach got fired, I got fired. So I'm looking for a job, and I'm just saying, Lord, you got to lead us someplace. And I just started praying, and I'm like, Lord, you got to lead us southwest, okay? Because this cold is ridiculous. And I was praying southwest. Now, in my mind, God knew what I was talking about because southwest meant Arizona, okay? And I was thinking there's 3 schools in Arizona. This will work out fantastic. All right? Well, God answered my prayer. We moved 6 hours southwest to St. Cloud, Minnesota. And I said, Lord, you got a great sense of humor. Now, when we moved to St. Cloud, I asked the guy, I said, hey, buddy, how much snow do you guys get? And he goes, hey, not that bad. He goes, it's not that bad here, okay? We only had 68 inches of snow last year. 268, 68, we can do that. Question I should have asked, again, young coach, still trying to figure it out. How cold does it get in St. Cloud, Minnesota? That's the first question I asked when we went to Michigan. Our first winter there, and I didn't even know this existed, okay, until it happened. Our first winter, it was below 0 for 21 days. Okay, so you guys look, you got USA Today, you look at that map. Okay, we're down here in orange and red, right? Florida, looking nice. Okay, they're up there in purple, the color she has, okay? Because it's 0 up there, and it stays that way. Coldest I've ever been in my entire life. We were there 3 years. Had an opportunity then to become a head coach at Azusa Pacific University, which is now a Division II university in Southern California. And then, about 12 years ago, had the opportunity to start a program from scratch in North Carolina, at the University of North Carolina, Pembroke. And if you don't know much about the southeast region of North Carolina, Pembroke is, it's really not the mecca of, existence right there. Small town, 2,000 people, very rural. And I was just happy. I had always wanted to start a program. And that always intrigued me about what that would look like and what that opportunity might be. So we went out there, we started that, I got some great coaches. Actually, 3 of the coaches that we started the program with, they're at Pembroke, they're with me now here. And then we recruited some great players and really did a fantastic job. Our 3rd year at Pembroke, we became the fastest team in the history of Division II to make the playoffs. And so we felt like we had something started. And then the opportunity, I told my wife while we were starting the program, I said, honey, don't ever let me start another program again, okay? That's something that you've just got to remind me of. Don't let me do it. My last year at Pembroke, we went to the playoffs. I think we were 8th in the country and had the opportunity to interview for the University of West Florida job. And my wife's like, okay, you told me to remind you that you should never start a program again. What has changed? And I said, have you seen the pictures of the Panhandle? Have you seen the beaches in Pensacola? That may make me rethink the process of starting a program again. Now, when I interviewed, which it was really kind of interesting, 4 years ago this time, all right, when I interviewed, it was the ice storm that had come through, okay? And so I'm sitting there going, okay, is it us? Is it, what is this about that? And midway through the interview, I'm talking to my wife, and people are saying, well, what do you think? What do you think? I'm like, are we at the University of, are we in Florida? Because it was freezing. It actually turned in to be the longest interview I've ever been associated with, because I came in on a Sunday. I was supposed to fly out Tuesday morning, could not leave till Thursday night because everything had frozen over. And as you guys know, in Florida, I mean, somebody drops ice out of their cup, we're gonna shut the highways down, okay? And so they shut everything down. The funny part of the story, though, is we, wanted to treat us right, so they put us in a hotel down by the beach. And so we're like, okay, this is great. We got a beach view and all that type of stuff. And then on Tuesday, they're like, hey, we got to get you out of here because the bridge may freeze over and we've got to get you close to the airport. And we're worried about the bridge freezing over. I'm like, okay, this is unbelievable. So they get us out. From Tuesday till Thursday, we can't take off because our pilots are in the hotel we were in and they can't cross the bridge. And I'm like, if I'd have known that, we'd have stayed on the beach. So we got here, and again, I've got a great staff. We've been able to recruit great players, and obviously for us in our 2nd year to make it to the national championship, we had to have a lot of things work our way and a lot of things go our way. And kind of the way I've described it to people is, as you were talking about the competitors in the room, we got a lot of tremendous competitors, as there is on a lot of teams. I think everybody that we played could have beaten us. And most of our games were close. We played 15 games, most of our games were close. But our team believed we could beat everybody we played. And when you take that belief and you take that trust and you take that encouragement and you take that brotherhood onto the field, you got an opportunity. And that's the exciting thing. We really talk about a couple of things in our program. People ask about our culture, what's it look like? We've got a lot of people come and visit, watch us practice, see how we do things. They love how our players get along. They love the energy that we have in practice. But when we talk about our culture, we really talk about positive energy, unity, okay? Those are our core values. We want each guy to be upbeat. We want to find a way to get excited about something. We want to be together. And then we talk about smart, hard work. And really, John Wooden, in his Pyramid of Success, talked about industriousness. And that was the corner, one of the pyramids, the cornerstone in his pyramid. We talk about smart, hard work. We're going to utilize every minute. We're going to be smart in how we do it. And we're going to do everything we can to put our guys in the best position possible. And then we give our guys every opportunity to play very fast. We play fast on offense. We play fast on defense. And the result really was, we had gotten to the place where we were 5-3, and the year before, 2016, our first year, we were 5-3. And 2017 comes along, we've played 8 games, we're 5-3. And my conversation with our team at that point in time was, guys, we are a much better team than 2016. But right now, we don't have anything to show for it. We're in the exact same place that we were a year ago. Now, we're getting ready to play 2 opponents University of North Alabama, who made it to the national championship game the year before, and the University of West Georgia, who had been back-to-back semifinalists in Division II. We're getting ready to play those two teams in our last two games. In 2016, they beat us 120-3. And I'm telling our guys, look, I believe in you. You guys believe in you. Let's go out and do this, and let's finish, and let's show that there's something out there that we've done what we need to do. Well, we beat North Alabama 31-7. Really, the only reason they scored was we gave up a kickoff return. And then we went to West Georgia, who at the time was ranked 16th in the country, and we beat them 34-31. And what that did is that put us at 7-3, and it put West Georgia at 8-3. And now they had to make a decision as to who gets into the playoffs. And they ended up putting us both in the playoffs. We go play our first playoff game in North Carolina. We had never won 3 games in a row in our previous 21 games. I had talked about that earlier in the season, and then we lost. So we had won 2 in a row, and then we lost. And I said, I'm never gonna bring that up again. Glad I didn't. Then we went on and won 6 games. And again, it really comes back to, we had a tremendous group that just believed in each other, trusted in each other. We probably played as good a team football as I've seen and been a part of. But the guys believing, trusting, supporting each other. We had coaches who were out recruiting that we've known through the profession. They're out recruiting. They'd stop by, in our semifinal game or our national championship game, stop by, watch us practice. And I mean, the things that they talked about were the things that we were trying to push. Smart, hard work, unity, positive energy. So with that, made it to the national championship game, came up short. Watched that game a few times now, about 6 or 7 plays, obviously you'd love to have back, but we've got a lot of our guys back. We lost 4 starters on defense, 1 on offense. We have the freshman player of the year coming back. We have 2 All-Americans coming back, so we're very excited about our future. So I thank you for the opportunity to talk to you, and going to answer some questions right now. Is that right?
Yeah, Coach. So I want to ask you, and then if you would like to ask a question, just stand up and ask it. And if you can't, I think Coach can probably hear you. You got a mic, but there's a mic right there. But I want to ask you this: 15-game schedule. It's incredibly long, and when you don't know you're going to have a 15-game schedule. Nobody really knows they're going to do it, especially the playoff teams. Mm-hmm. That's the first time you've had to do that. So did you move spring practice back? How's your team physically right now after a 15-game schedule, and how do you approach that going forward?
Yeah, we've got a saying in our program, we expect to win, but we're going to meet that expectation with smart, hard work, and we're going to play full speed to the whistle. And so every year I've been a head coach, I have planned for my team to be in the national championship game. So we script our practices, we start shortening them later in the year, we start moving periods, we start doing less physical contact, and for the most part it's paid off, and we've gone into the end of the year pretty healthy.
You can see that during the playoffs, that you had more juice and all
we
that.
felt like we were as ready and as fresh as any team. I learned early on in my career, and it's one of the things my dad and then Ken Hatfield, the 3 years I was with him, is if you've got the fresher team on Saturday, you got a great chance. And so I've really put a lot of my coaching into, again, smart hard work isn't that we're not doing anything. It's finding a way to get a lot of reps, get a lot of things done, but be fresh. And what that did, those extra 5 games, that was also 10 extra lifts that all our scout team guys were able to get. I mean, we're a bigger, stronger team right now. We've always done spring ball late. We start spring ball March 24th, but we've always done that just because we want to kind of space the year out well.
I think that's a great question. I mean, anybody, if you'd like to come up and, yes, sir, what's your
your success that you've had already, how is that going to help in getting the progression for your new football stadium?
Well, we love playing in Wahoo Stadium. And if you haven't been to a game there, I encourage you to come over. We've got 5 home games next year. We actually open up on a Thursday night. I think it's the last Thursday in August. We have an electric atmosphere in our home games. And the community has done a great job of just supporting us. We've got the Ice Flyers there. We've got the Wahoos. But they've come out and done a great job supporting us. we're really looking to extend the contract downtown right now, and I think we're in negotiations to do that. And I don't know that, I think we'd have to outgrow that facility to a place where, we're just losing money because people aren't getting in. In 2016, we were the 17th highest team in attendance in Division II. 17, we dropped down a little bit because we had a game canceled by a hurricane, and we had to move a game to a Friday night. But we're planning on getting back up in there. And I think if we creep up in the top 10 attendance, we'll start outgrowing that place a little bit. But playing in Wahoo Stadium, playing downtown on the bay, I mean, other than, if you haven't been there, one of our end zones is up against the bay. So other than every time we kick an extra point when we score that way or kick a field goal and losing the football, other than that, it's a great experience. So, and then about midway through 2016, I went to my AD. I said, "No, you're going to pay me back for these footballs, right?" He didn't give me an answer until the end of the year. And then when we were playing West Georgia beat us 69-0 our first year. My only hope was that they'd score in that end zone, then they wouldn't have any footballs left and couldn't go out on offense. But
Coach, listen, obviously, good football coaches, they all share similar things. One thing I've noticed about you, listening to you talk, is attention to detail. Obviously, you're thinking about what's going to happen. For you to answer that question the way you did about the playoffs and all that, it's a belief, obviously, and your players are going to build off that. Where do you see yourself 10, 15 years from now?
well, hopefully which one, 10 or 15? All right, so 10, hopefully we're coming back from our 10th appearance in the national championship game. 15, we're doing the same. Now, we're very excited about, what we're doing here. And we're getting ready to get into a facility that was built for us. So we get the bottom floor of that. It'll house our weight room and locker room. For the first 4 years, we've really had nothing. Our locker room was in a trailer, and all our guys had were hooks. Okay, we've had very little. I'm excited that we're actually going to get into a locker room. We're going to get a brand new weight room where we've been lifting. Every time we lift, we got to break our team up into 3 groups just to be able to get them in. So we're excited about that. And, I look forward to this university just continuing to grow. Dr. Saunders took over for Dr. Benz. Dr. Benz's vision was to bring football. Tremendous amount of credit to her to, go through that. A lot of people told her she was crazy. A lot of people told her she was nuts. It wouldn't work. It was fun to be around Dr. Benz this year and everybody coming up and telling her they're sorry for what they said and that she was right. That was good for her. And then Dr. Saunders became our president a couple years ago, and she's just continued to grow the university. I'm excited about what UWF looks like and what the future is going to be.
Playing for Coach McCartney at Colorado had an amazing impact on people's lives and won a national title there. What did you take from that experience playing for him?
Well, first off, Coach Mack, probably more passion and more energy than any human being I've ever been around. And if he believed in something, if he believed in you, he was almost going to will you to be successful. And I took from him just the passion that you could give to the next guy, that you could encourage, how you could support. We do some interesting things in how we talk to our players, and it really comes from Coach McCartney's staff. Again, we're trying to create positive energy in everything that we do. We go to a lot of practices and people are talking about how bad a guy is or how slow a guy is or how his hands are like bricks, those type of things. We use the phrase, "that's not like you," or "you need to catch the ball," or "your hands need to be softer." We actually, try to do a little reverse psychology. All that comes from Bill McCartney. And, I never understood him because every time he met with us, he would talk to us. Back then, we were in the Big 8. I know everything's changed a little bit, but we were in the Big 8, and our big thing was, could we win our conference and go to the Orange Bowl? That was the thing that we were all striving to do. Never got an opportunity to do that, but he always talked to us like we're getting ready to play the Orange Bowl the next day. And so I've had to learn, some of that's good, some of that isn't, gauging the team, but his passion and then his ability to impact and really influence and encourage people, taking it with me my entire career.
If you got a question, raise your hand, and we'll recognize you and you can ask it. But while we're waiting on that, how do you know when your team's ready to play? Every coach One thing I love about going to games is I try to get there an hour early. I can be on the sidelines. I like to watch both teams warm up. And a lot of people, unless you're can be down there and see guys coming out of the locker room, and you guys that play certainly understand that about being ready to play and ready to go. When do you know that your team is ready? When do you know that they're not? Now, how do you deal with it before a game starts?
Well, I tried to stop figuring that out before the game starts. I've been head coach for 20 years, and I think the first 10 years I was always trying to, okay, yeah, I feel great about this, and then we go out and get killed or something. The way I know we're ready to play is what we look on that opening kickoff, what our first couple series. I try not to gauge anything by our first series, but I do try to gauge it by the first couple series, where guys are, what they look like, and then anybody who's a competitor has all had that sickening feeling of, oh my goodness, this is not going the way we want it to. We had a unique team this year in that we just kept believing in them. We kept encouraging them. We scored. We played 15 games. We scored 12 times going into halftime. So taking momentum with us into halftime really generated a lot of that positive energy that we're talking about. And then I think we won 6 games where the other team has the ball and is trying to, score. So every one of our games was close. We kept that belief and that excitement going throughout it. But I watch pregame warm-ups now, and music's going, guys are talking, guys are doing stuff, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna wait till the ball gets snapped, see where we are.
With all the distractions we got now, when you played, and we all played football 25 years ago, 20 years ago, you didn't have social media. You didn't have all the distractions that you have today with Twitter and Facebook and all that clutter that we hear about. How do you deal with those kind of things to keep your team focused? I mean, different world we live in now.
It is a different world, and you got to adjust as a coach. You got to be ready. I mean, we talk to our guys all the time, represent UWF in a positive manner in all that you do. And so, we're going to ask them, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Snapchat, whatever it is, whether it's a conversation with the people in the cafeteria, whether it's buying something at Walmart, man. We want you to represent UWF in a positive manner. That's what we want you to do. And when you start a program from scratch, you got a lot of people who are wondering what it's going to look like. And you got a faculty that, when we came in, I don't even know if they were 50-50 on whether they wanted it or not. And you got certain people that are wondering, what's this going to be like? So if you don't go out and recruit the right guys, and you don't go out and recruit good students, and you don't go out and recruit people who are going to represent you in a positive manner, your reputation can get tarnished quickly. And so, we spend a lot of time talking to our guys about how they conduct themselves, what it looks like, and how they handle themselves. And it's worked out extremely well, because we've gotten a lot of positive reviews. We've gotten a lot of positive input from the faculty, from the professors. But to me, it's a constant education. Everything's changing. There's always something new. There's always an opportunity. But what it does is, when I was in school and when, my first part of my coaching, if a guy was bummed out, I don't know that I'd necessarily know it, until I got around him. We follow all these guys on Twitter. I mean, you find out a lot, Guy walks in the building, hey man, sorry you broke up with your girlfriend, man. I'm sorry that, how do you know that? Well, I'm following her on Twitter just to see what she's doing. She said she dumped you, but so just making sure everything's going right. So you can learn a lot on social media, and you got to do it.
Any final questions for Coach?
Yeah, Coach. How many kids that we talked earlier do you actually recruit from in the Panhandle?
Yeah, you asked me that number, and I should know that number being here. I know we've got guys all throughout the Panhandle, and every year we're doing the best we can to find the right fit for us. But I mean, I think we were somewhere in the teens, upper teens, as we looked at it last. I mean, everything from Escambia County all the way down to Bluntstown and Panama City. So I mean, we always start, and kind of what we talk about is we're always going to start in this area code. We're going to start in the 850. We're going to do everything we can in the 850, and then we're going to go from there. Obviously, lower Alabama, all of Florida, a lot of really good guys. We got guys from Miami to Tuscaloosa. We've got some out-of-state guys as well. We got some guys from New York, got some guys from California, and I think that's just the draw of the University of West Florida.
Coach, as we wrap it up with Coach, I'll say this. I know a lot of you have heard from a lot of great coaches through the years that have been here and talked about what they've done for their universities and all that. I can tell you, talking to Coach tonight, your energy level is unbelievable. I would want to play for you. I know a lot of other guys out here would like the opportunity as well. The positive energy that you got, and we've had some big name coaches in this room that have put you to sleep before. That's not the case.
Well, my voice is too loud, I think, to put you asleep. So.
We just want to tell you thank you.
No, my pleasure.
For coming and for your award and everything, and it's only a matter of time till you win a national title. So
I appreciate that.
Glad to have you in this area.
Thank you very much.
Coach Pete.
Thank you all.
Okay, I'm going to bring Bernard up for some closing remarks. And once again, thank you all, every one of you, for coming out tonight. All the student athletes that we had a chance to recognize. And I'm going to let Bernard close this up.
Appreciate that. Good job, Scott. Thanks for all. You know, whenever you do something like this, you always invariably end up missing folk. And that's something I hate to do, but unfortunately it happened tonight. So I do want to definitely make sure we recognize a couple other folks that got left out. Before we did that, Coach Shinnick, his birthday is May 15th, which is actually 2 days before mine, May 17th. But we're born the same year, 1965. So we're both, now get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, so with that being said, Miss Allison Richards from South Walton High School. Where's Allison at? There she is. She is, give her a hand. She's our female All Sports Association Scholastic Award nominee from South Walton High. So we appreciate her being here. There's another one there. Where's Big Junior Carswell at from Freeport? Junior still here? Okay, Junior might have slipped out. So, oh, there he is. There he is. Big old joker's over there. Now this, give Junior a hand. So Sean, was Sean here? Sean Arts? Okay, there's Sean. Okay, that's coach for Freeport. Yeah, Junior, I remember Junior, because my boy's been playing against, here's my son Blaine right up front here. But my older son Blake been playing against him since they were in middle school, so they go way back. So Junior, good for you. Junior's going on to University of Southern Mississippi to play ball, so he'll be able to take his talents over there to Mississippi, so congratulations to you, Junior. And we also missed a couple from Niceville High School. Is Coach John Hicks still here? Where's Coach Hicks?
Basketball game.
Basketball game? Okay, he was here earlier. So, but we do want to recognize Coach John Hicks of the Niceville Eagles, but our male Scholastic Award winner, Stephen Azano. There you go. General Azano and Miss Jennifer, I mean, they did a great job with Stephen, and it was fun going to Niceville High School and recognizing him, and then going to Fort Walton Beach High School and recognizing Lucy. So it's a big deal for us to present these awards to these kids, and well, the young adults, really, is what we ought to call them. But glad that you guys are successful in that award selection, so we look forward to recognize you again tomorrow night. And one all the way here, 3.5 hours away from Auburn University, Mr. Eli Stove. So Eli is our Collegiate Male Award winner, and y'all seen Eli do some things on TV that are pretty dangerous, so DBs watch out, right? All righty, this is Pop over there at Langston Stove, so appreciate him making sure he was gonna be here. So that being said, tomorrow night, for those that have tickets, the All Sports Association 49th Banquet is going to be at the Emerald Coast Conference Center. As you can tell up here, that's how I remember it's 49. I will introduce Mr. Lee Lewis. He's the 50th president for next year. So give Lee a hand and welcome him to the stage. So Lee and I this year like frickin' frack. So we make sure everybody knows what's going on, and he's definitely a good cohort in this effort here. So he'll be your president for next year. So with that being said, those who have VIP passes to the venue tomorrow at the Harry T's location in Destin. We got Herm Edwards. I got to pick him up at the airport tonight, so he's excited about being here. So it's going to be a big day. This is the program that Lee and his staff and Carlos, I think Carlos is here somewhere. There's some programs up here for those of y'all that want them. A very colorful guide to who we are and what we do. All our supporters and sponsors and all are recognized. They did a jam-up job on this, Lisa. You guys did a good job, you and Carlos and all. So with that being said, we're going to close this out. And here again, thank you for your support. Thank you for your time. And at the Fish Fry, we'll see you next year. Thank you.